His eyes widened in shock as he saw a huge animal splashing around in the dark well, desperately trying to get out. He quickly turned on the flashlight of his phone and shone it down. He gasped when he finally realized what he was looking at. The animal trying to get out was actually a leopard. Its big eyes looked right into the flashlight. The poor animal, covered in dirt, was tired and quickly losing energy. He frantically looked around him for something, anything, that could help the animal get out of there. He picked up some wooden planks lying around, but none of them were long enough to reach down all the way into the well. Not wasting a single second, he ran into the abandoned house. But as he searched the dark basement, he found nothing but rats and rusty tools. As he walked through the abandoned house, he noticed a shed in what used to be the backyard. Yes, he said to himself as he spotted a long, thick rope in the corner of the shed. He quickly grabbed the rope and ran back to the well, with the rope dragging along behind him. He tied one end of the rope around the well and the other end of the rope around his waist. He knew exactly what he was going to do, as he had played out every scenario in his head. He tossed the rope over the edge and waited as it hit the water. Now, he grabbed the rope, positioned himself above the well, and slowly climbed down. Bit by bit, he climbed down the well. He was about halfway down when his phone suddenly began to buzz in his jeans. At first, Luke ignored the call. This wasn't exactly the perfect time to reach into his pocket, you see. But when his phone kept ringing, his mind began to race. Why was someone so desperate to get in touch with him? He weighed the options. The possibility of the call being an emergency was small, but he just couldn't let it go. He wrapped the rope around his wrist several times and positioned his feet steadily apart. Slowly, he began to let go of the rope with his other hand, but he had to act quickly. He couldn't hold his weight with just one hand for very long. He reached inside his jean pocket and got a hold of his phone, but just as he pulled it out, his fingers slipped, dropping it down the well. The sudden drop of Luke's phone scared the leopard, who growled loudly at Luke. Luke said out loud, he could still hear the phone vibrating underwater, but he knew it would be impossible to retrieve the phone from the well's muddy water, especially with a frantic leopard still inside splashing around. His fingers were cramping, and his legs were shaking, not just from the exhaustion, but also from the nerves. He was getting closer and closer to the leopard, who could easily rip him to shreds as soon as he was close enough. The leopard lay still and gripped the wall with both paws. Luke watched its huge nails dig into the stone and was glad it wasn't in his skin. How would the leopard ever accept him tying a rope around its waist and pulling it up? And even if he managed to tie a rope around the leopard's waist, how would he ever climb back up himself? He was already out of breath from climbing down, and his muscles were too sore to pull himself all the way back up. Luke cautiously approached the leopard, noting its protective stance and trying to communicate his intention to help without provoking it. Any aggression, his heart pounds against his chest, a mixture of fear and determination setting in. Each step he takes is measured, careful not to make any sudden movements that might startle the already tense animal. He speaks in a low, soothing tone, hoping to convey a sense of peace and goodwill. A moment of understanding passes between Luke and the leopard as their eyes meet. Luke slowly edges closer, maintaining eye contact. He scans the surroundings, looking for anything that might aid in their escape. His mind races with options, yet he remains outwardly calm, not wanting to betray his inner turmoil to the watchful animal. Every movement is deliberate, intended to show that he is not a threat but a potential ally in this unexpected predicament. The leopard's posture relaxes slightly, indicating a growing yet tentative trust. As Luke prepares for his next move, the animal's breathing, though still rapid, seems less frantic, a sign that perhaps it senses Luke's genuine desire to help. This small change fuels Luke's determination, reinforcing his resolve to save not only himself but the magnificent creature before him. Realizing he needs assistance, Luke carefully searches the murky water for his dropped phone, trying not to startle a leopard. His hands probe the cold, muddy bottom, feeling around blindly for the slim device. He lifts it from the water, his breath held in suspense. To his amazement, the screen flickers to life. The phone, miraculously still functional after its fall into the well, offers a beacon of hope in the overwhelming darkness. Luke's relief is palpable, a momentary respite from the impending danger. Luke quickly dials emergency services, explaining his precarious situation and urgently requesting help. As he speaks, he keeps one eye on the Leopard, ensuring it remains calm. The dispatcher's response is swift and professional, promising that help is on the way. Luke clings to this promise, a ray of hope piercing the darkness. While on the phone, Luke maintains a line of communication with the dispatcher, relaying his and the Leopard's condition. He describes the well's depth, the water's chill, and the Leopard's apparent exhaustion. He reassures the Leopard with soft words, their shared predicament forging an unlikely bond. Together, they wait in the cold, dark well, their fate hanging in the balance as they anticipate the arrival of help. While waiting for help, Luke talks to the Leopard, his voice calm and soothing, attempting to ease its distress. Luke can't see what the Leopard is guarding in the dark water, but he senses its importance to the animal. He observes its protective stance, the way its body curves around an unseen treasure. "We'll get out of here," he assures, his voice a steady presence in the chaotic silence. Each word is a thread weaving a tapestry of trust between man and animal. In the enveloping darkness, these whispers are a pact, a shared hope for survival. Luke and the Leopard wait in the cold, dark well, the silence punctuated by the distant sounds of the approaching rescue team. Each minute feels like an eternity, the weight of time pressing down. Luke listens intently, deciphering the faint noises above, the promise of salvation. Over the phone, Luke receives specific instructions on how to keep himself and the Leopard safe until help arrives. Stay as still as possible, they advise, and avoid sudden movements. Luke nods, committing every word to memory, determined to follow their guidance to the letter for both their sakes. Luke prepares for the rescue team's arrival, positioning himself and the Leopard as instructed. He moves slowly, mindful of the animal's watchful gaze and the precariousness of their situation. Each movement is deliberate, aimed at ensuring their safety and facilitating the upcoming rescue. The Leopard stirs, its ears twitching at the unfamiliar sounds invading their sanctuary. As the rescue team nears, Luke steadies himself and the Leopard for the crucial moments ahead. He takes a deep breath, trying to quell the storm of emotions raging within him. The time has come to trust in the hands of strangers, to surrender to the process of rescue. The rescue team arrives and begins setting up their equipment, coordinating their efforts with Luke below. The sound of metal clanking and voices directing operations echoes down the well. Luke watches as ropes and pulleys are secured, a ballet of precision and urgency unfolding above him. The team's professionalism instills a newfound sense of confidence in Luke, reassuring him that help is truly here. Rescuers lower equipment and personnel into the well, the operation officially underway. Luke steps back, giving them space to work, his eyes tracking every movement. The descent is methodical, each rescuer's arrival bringing them closer to safety. The Leopard recoils, its eyes wide with confusion and fear. Luke soothes it with a gentle voice. Despite the chaos above, Luke remains calm, following the team's instructions to aid the rescue. He positions himself as directed, ensuring both he and the Leopard are ready for the next steps. The team works to secure the well's perimeter, ensuring a safe environment for the rescue. They move with purpose, each action deliberate and focused. Luke watches in awe, the choreographed efficiency a stark contrast to the disarray of the past hours. The perimeter becomes a fortress, a shield against further harm, promising a safe passage for the imminent ascent to safety. Unexpected sight shaking him to his core, the Leopard's protective stance suddenly makes sense, a narrative unfolding without words in the harsh glare of the rescue light. The revelation of the Leopard's guarded secret brings a wave of emotions to Luke and the rescue team. Astonishment, sympathy, and a renewed sense of urgency wash over them. With the discovery, The team works diligently to ensure the safety of both the Leopard and the small creature. Their actions are precise, every maneuver calculated to avoid further distress. Luke keeps a watchful eye on his companions, their shared experience forging an unspoken bond. The world above draws nearer, the promise of safety within reach, their collective relief almost palpable. Luke, the Leopard, and the small creature finally reach the surface, greeted by fresh air and relieved faces. Cheers erupt from the rescue team, a chorus of joy and relief. Luke breathes deeply, the fresh air a balm to his weary soul. The Leopard, still close by, seems to understand the ordeal is over. Together, they step into the light, the weight of the dark well lifting from their shoulders. Luke emerges from the well to a hero's welcome, his bravery and quick thinking celebrated by all. As the Leopard is safely taken into care, Luke shares a tender moment of goodbye with the creature he saved. Their eyes meet, a silent conversation of thanks and farewell passing between them. Luke gently strokes its fur, a final gesture of companionship. The Leopard, once a symbol of danger, is now a part of his story, a shared memory of survival and unexpected trust. The story of the puppy's accidental fall into the well and the Leopard's unexpected protection unfolds. Witnesses and rescuers share details, piecing together the extraordinary tale. The community listens in awe, the puppy's plight and the Leopard's unlikely guardianship, a narrative that tugs at heartstrings. The tale, marked by fear and compassion, highlights the unpredictable nature of life and the enduring spirit of survival. The local community rallies around Luke and the animals, their story inspiring many. People come forward with support, offers of help, and expressions of admiration. The incident has ignited a sense of unity and care, the community's response a testament to the power of collective compassion. Luke's courageous act and the unexpected bond between the Leopard and the puppy resonate deeply, sparking conversations and a newfound appreciation for life's interconnectedness. Luke reflects on the rescue, the bond formed in the well, and the unexpected journey he embarked upon. The experience has changed him, the weight of the ordeal leaving an indelible mark. He ponders the connections made in the depths of the well, the shared moments of fear and the triumphant ascent into the light. Newspapers, websites, and TV reports share the tale of his bravery and the extraordinary bond between predator and prey. The image of Luke emerging from the well, a protector to both the Leopard and the puppy, resonates with people far and wide, a heartwarming narrative amidst a world often filled with less hopeful news. The local community and animal welfare organizations honor Luke for his bravery and compassion. Ceremonies and awards are bestowed upon him, each accolade a recognition of his selfless act and the positive impact it's had. The Leopard unexpectedly clings to Luke, seeking comfort. Its body presses against his, the wild instinct for survival overtaking its usual solitary nature. Their bond, forged in the crucible of their ordeal, becomes a source of unexpected comfort. The Leopard's eyes flicker with a mix of fear and understanding, its body gradually relaxing under Luke's gentle touch. Together, they share a moment of quiet connection amidst the bedlam. In a moment of fragile peace, Luke and the Leopard wait as the team prepares to hoist them up the well. Once a place of danger, it now feels like a cocoon, sheltering them from the world above. They remain close, the Leopard's head resting near Luke's knee, their breaths sinking in the heavy air. The Leopard senses the change, its body tensely coiled, ready for the moment of emergence. Together, they hover between two worlds, the perilous depths below and the promising salvation above. As they near the top, a beam of light reveals the small, scared creature the Leopard was guarding. Luke's eyes widen in shock and awe at the sight, the last piece of the puzzle falling into place. Luke decides to adopt the puppy, a symbol of the extraordinary experience and friendship formed in the well's depths. Bringing the little creature into his home, he promises a future filled with care and love. The puppy, once a small bundle of fear, now wags its tail with joy and trust. Together, they start a new chapter, a family forged from the trials of a dark and damp ordeal.